Hello, Blessing Nagaba is my name, and I'm presenting Fashion Assistant, starting with, that is my project, starting with my problem statement. My project right here is supposed to help people that have no fashion etiquette or will need help with fashion recommendation. And this is when they're going for occasions like meetings, school parties, rather than being underdressed or inappropriate, and which will help people choose clothes according to brands, decency, gender, color, and according to what you want to purchase or what is in your closet. Starting with artificial intelligence environments, we have deterministic and stochastic. Deterministic environments, here you can be able to determine what the agent's current state completely determines the next state of the agent. While stochastic is what I mean nature, which is not unique and cannot be completely determined by the agent. What do I mean? For example, an example of deterministic environment, we have choosing a suit. If you choose a suit, an agent that chooses a suit will they can easily determine what other agents will choose. It will easily determine that the fact that someone has chosen a suit, the other agents have to choose a shirt and a trouser because those have to go together. And stochastic cannot be determined. So for example, a brand of clothes. If I choose a brand of clothes, the fact that that agent has chosen a brand of clothes, you cannot determine what the other agents will choose, whether the other agents want shorts or they want trousers or they want shirts. You cannot determine. Then we have competitive versus collaborative. An agent is said to be competitive if it competes against another agent to optimize the output. For example, what do I mean? Um, what do I mean? For example, brands compete against each other when they're selling the same clothes. For example, different brands are all selling shirts. They will have to compete each other so that they can actually optimize the output. If they're all trying to actually sell out their output, this will need definitely need a competitive environment. And then we have a collaborative environment. This will still apply to brands. Brands, for example, we have brands that only sell shirts, different brands, but they're all selling shirts. They will have sorry, we have different brands. Some one brand is selling shirts, the other is selling trousers. Shirts and trousers will be needed by one person. So those different brands will need a collaborative environment where they can collaborate together to deliver a product, the products that are needed by one person if they're actually from different brands. We have static or dynamic. And a dynamic environment is one that keeps constantly changing itself when the agent is up with some action, while uh, a static environment is one that is idle and has no change in its state. For us, a dynamic environment, I can give you an example of different clothes brand can actually change the looks of their product. For example, a brand that sells bags will try to change bags, so they will need a dynamic environment. They will change the look of their bags or the look of their watches. And then we have a static environment. An example I can give is clothes according to sex. That cannot change. So that means you will need a static environment. There is no way one sex can change. So that will need a static environment. Secondly, I'm going to talk about artificial intelligence agents. We have simple reflex agents. These are based on what is available at the moment to make a decision. They do not combine history or anything. Simple reflex agents, I can give you an example of someone's size. Someone's size, you will not have to actually go back to the history to determine what the color of the clothes someone needs according to their size. You actually have to use the current information, not the past history. We have reference agents. It is combines history with information at hand. For example, determining a user's tastes and preferences. A user's tastes and preferences, you have to consider the information at hand and of course the history. What did they like to wear? If they like to wear trousers and not skirts, that means their preference is trousers. So you use the current information and also the history. So we also have a data set description. My data set is about clothes recommendation. It recommends clothes. It involves input features and output features. Input features will help the system determine what the user wants. Actually, the user will input those features, and the output features will help the system tell the user the choices that he has. For example, uh, I gave in a link here that will take you to my dataset, and I put in a screenshot of my dataset. The input features, there will be a product name, brand, gender, color, and the output features will have the product ID, price, number of images. So, for example, if a user puts in a description or a product name or a brand or the agenda or primary color that they want, the system will be able to provide the product ID, the price, and the number of images that are available to enable the user to be able to choose. And then we have informed search and uninformed search. Informed search contains domain knowledge on the goal during the search. The type of informed search that I used was greedy search. The solution here is built up piece by piece, always choosing the next piece that offers the most obvious and immediate benefit. Here, my model will gather up information, for example, about the user's tastes and preferences. It will gather piece by piece from day one when the user started requesting for clothes. The system will gather piece by piece, and eventually the system will be able to determine the user's tastes and preferences. Informed search, the system, uninformed search, the system has no domain knowledge on the search apart from that is defined in the problem definition. So here is bidirectional search. It involves two searches that are used simultaneously. We have the backward search and the forward search. The backward search starts from the initial state, and the backward starts from the goal, the final goal, and the forward search starts from the initial state. Initial the forward search example that I can give you, it's starting from the very first piece of cloth that the user will need for a specific event. Definitely the user will need many pieces, but we shall start from the very first piece. And then for the backwards search, the system will consider what's the goal. What does the user want? The user wants to go for an occasion. Yes, the system will now start from the goal, which is the total, the entire outfit that the user will use for this event. And then we have accountability. What is accountability? Accountability involves the system being fair, explainable, and transparent to ensure its proper functioning throughout its cycle. It is defined in terms of answerability, identifying conditions of possibility like limitation of power, and how can it be applied to my system. Artificial intelligence can be applied through the government actually enacting policies that can help make the AI system developers accountable in case the system does harm. It also involves earning the user's trust by making sure that the users can actually trust the system through training them, through briefing them on what the system can do and what it cannot do to avoid use of it for irrelevant things, unintended things, and of course, making sure that the users are safe to use the system by making sure there is no illegal access to the system. And that is all. Thank you for listening.